channel. If you are new here, my name is Relly. I'm a queer disabled YA author, and my debut novel, there's a badge for that, comes out May 23rd. So as I'm filming this, it is officially pub week, and I will have a pub week vlog coming, so this is not that. But yes, it's officially pub week. It is May 19th as I'm filming this. So it has been a few weeks since you've seen me. I've had a lot going on. I've had publishing stuff going on. I've had personal life stuff going on. So I thought today I would give you a bit of a recap. It's got some like Ingram Spark tips again, and you know, some things that I've learned from this process. I also want to share how I'm going to make changes so that I don't experience a lot of these issues I've had with my next books, and a piece of maybe exciting news, I don't know. And thought I would give you like a little bit of a look into like what's going on in my personal life, because I used to talk about that a ton when I was doing my videos, and I haven't been doing that recently, mostly because I've been so focused on publishing stuff. So I thought that would be a nice little change today, and then the next video will be pub week vlog, and then I have some new plans moving forward from here. So let's hop into it. I'll start with the author stuff because I know some of you might want to dip out after that, and that is fine. So let's go through what has gone on with this publishing process. So what had happened was at the beginning of May, I received my invoice from Ingram for the month of April, and I saw that there was 2 books listed on there, 2 print books. I was like, okay, well that must be my proof copies that I ordered in April, because I ordered the first one to proofread from, and then I uploaded my proofread file and ordered a second one. So then I did some research and found out that Ingram doesn't put your author copies on an invoice because you're paying the printing fee, you're not paying retail. So I then went into my account and was like, okay, cool, like I have this order for 2 books somewhere in the US. I hadn't shared pre-order links. It wasn't even up in all the places yet. I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, okay, well great, like there's already 2 books out in the world. And then I was doing some more research about how quickly places would have to order the book to get it in time, and when Ingram starts shipping. Well, unbeknownst to me, I find out that Ingram starts shipping up to 30 days in advance of your on sale date or pub date. So I now had these 2 books saying they were ordered in April, but I didn't upload my proofread file until April 23rd, which would be 30 days from my pub date or my on sale date. And I was like, okay, well, I uploaded it and I think it was approved by the morning of the 24th. What are the chances that it was ordered, you know, in that like 12-hour span where maybe they would have ordered the wrong file? And I was like, okay, this isn't a big deal. Let me just go in and see what date these were ordered. So Ingram doesn't show you what date the books were ordered right off the hop. You have to go in, and it took me a long time to figure this out. You have to go in and like make a customized report, and then you have to put in the date range that you want. So I put in this date range and then like narrowed it down one day at a time to figure out what day these books were ordered. And it said April 25th. And I was like, okay, cool. So they would have been the right files. So then I did some more research and realized that everywhere on Google says that the dates on the reports from Ingram are actually the ship date, that they don't add them to like the system or whatever. They don't show up in the system, whatever it is, until they leave the facility. So I was like, okay, well, if they left the facility April 25th, I know that unless you pay for rush shipping, Ingram doesn't ship out any quicker than like 3, 4, 5 days. So working backwards, that means that those books went to the printer before I uploaded the file. So then I was having a panic attack for way too long. I sent email after email. I was not getting any responses. I was also having multiple other issues on top of this, so my emails were like frantic at this point. And finally I decided to pay for the phone call. You may have seen my short or my TikTok about this. Maybe I'll just insert it here because that'll save me some talking. Are you indie publishing with Ingram Spark? Are you having issue after issue after issue and feeling really frustrated with the entire process? I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. This is super common. There are a bunch of things that aren't really explained very well, and you will spend hours of your life Googling answers to things. And in my experience, those answers are not always accurate. So here is my biggest Ingram Spark hack that you absolutely need to know if you are indie publishing with them. Make the phone call. When you want to get in touch with Ingram Spark about an issue you're having, there are 3 options. There's a virtual chat, which is basically useless. It just pulls up help documents, which you probably already Googled and read. There is a email option, which says it takes 2 business days. In busy season, I am finding it's taking like 5 to 6 business days. Sometimes I don't even get a reply at all. And then there is an option for a paid phone call. And at first, this was really, it felt abrasive. I was like, I am using this service. You're getting a cut of my money to use this service. Why do I have to pay for customer support? I am here to tell you it is so worth it. Just pay the money. I booked my phone call. It was available the next day, and I had the greatest phone call with a customer service person who knew what they were talking about. I could tell they weren't just pulling answers out of thin air. Like, they knew what the answers were. I spent 14 minutes on the phone. I got every one of my questions answered. I got all my anxieties eased. They put in a ticket for the one issue that needed fixing on their end. They were incredible. It was so worth it. And not only that, because I didn't even hit the 15-minute mark, they didn't even charge me. Okay? Maybe the guy I spoke to was just super happy. It's a sunny spring Thursday morning, and he liked me and he didn't charge me. Okay? I can't promise that's going to happen to you. It was so worth it. I would have paid 2, 3, 4 times the price to have done that phone call 2 months ago and not have gone through everything that I've gone through in the past couple weeks. Okay? Make the phone call. Don't even waste your time with chat support. Just do it. That is the Ingram Spark publishing hack that you need to remember when you are publishing your book. Happy writing. Yes. So did the phone call, got it all sorted out. And they said that the date on the report is the order date. It is not the ship date. I do know that Ingram recently updated their report part of their website, so maybe it used to be the ship date and now it's the order date. But he assured me it was the order date and that he had a ship date of April 27th, I think it was. It was like the Monday after. So that finally calmed me down, because I was like, oh no, like, someone's gonna receive 2 unproofed copies of my book. Like, that is no bueno. I actually did some like copy edits while I was proofreading. And that leads me to my second problem. I did copy edits during my proofread, which you are not supposed to do. And I proofread the ebook and the physical book. So I did enough editing that between those 2 passes of proofreading, I still ended up with errors. So I sent out my ARCs and I sent them to 2 of my friends as well, Diane Marie and Brie Bonomo. And Diane was so kind and courteous of my feelings and asked me if I was ready to receive some information, and let me know that there were a handful, quite a few typos that she had caught. And that was an important lesson for me, that I will always have a proofreader who is not me with my eyes. And it has been a really long journey to get to where I am today about this, because in between receiving that information and editing the file and uploading new files and having new files approved, I had a 13 book order come through, which I think is for the 3 Chapters Indigo stores that are going to be stocking my book in store. And those books are going to have typos in them. So thankfully, she let me know about a handful and I fixed them all, and then I re-uploaded a new file. And then that new, then that order came through. And then as she was finishing the book, she found a couple more. Even though after she sent me the first ones, I went back through and I did a grammar check and I did a spelling check, and I used not just the word grammar and spelling, I also used the Pro Writing Aid grammar and spelling and all of those tools. And there were still a couple typos that she caught finishing out the book. So the order came in after that first fixed file. So I think those books have 4 typos in them. And unfortunately, they also have a cover issue. So I want to take accountability in that I made things really difficult for my cover designer. I sent messages back and forth with a lot of information in them, which as someone with ADHD, I know that if you're like scanning a message and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make a note of this and I'm gonna make a note of this and this, like it's easy to like miss one simple little sentence or whatever, right? And we had so much back and forth, and then we had a couple issues. One of them was my fault, and then one of them was his fault, and this last one was kind of a combination of the two. We both missed it, and that was like a really devastating blow, because not only had that order come in and is going to have these copies with the cover formatting error, but I had already ordered a box of 18 copies to send out for all my signed pre-orders. And I can actually show you. I'm not sure how well it'll show up on camera. Let me try and get my face out of here. So there is a black outline of like a text box up here at the top of my book. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like a huge filled in rectangle, which would obviously be worse. It's not like all my stuff is blurry. It's not like something like, you know, it could definitely be worse. And maybe if I didn't point it out, you wouldn't even notice. My family that I dropped off some books to said they didn't even notice. But when you work so long and so hard on something, for it to have not only a couple of typos, but also a cover issue, it's like such a devastating blow. So I have been trying to shift my mindset, and you know, nothing in life is perfect. I'm just one person with the help of a few other people trying to do this thing that usually takes multiple teams at a publishing house. And sometimes they even make mistakes. They have typos and misprints with traditionally published books all the time. So I've been trying to like get myself into that mindset, but that's been really hard for me to navigate. And everyone has been super kind about it. I had people even reach out and say, ooh, I want like your rare misprint edition. How can I order? You know, so everyone's been super, super kind about it. The only thing that's really bothering me is the ones that are gonna end up in chapters, if that's where that order was from, because already as self-published authors, we have this stigma of like, we have to prove ourselves more than a traditionally published author, and it has to be perfect or it's going to get torn apart. And I know some of that is like a me opinion, but some of that is reality. I have seen it happen online. So much so that I have a disclaimer at the front of my book that I use Canadian spelling. I've seen reviews of either British or Canadian books talking about spelling errors from Americans who don't realize that we spell things differently. I'm a Canadian author. My ancestors are from England and Scotland and other places. I am going to use Canadian spelling, especially now. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, so I have seen people get torn apart online for less, you know? Typos that aren't even typos because that is the way the word was originally spelt in English from England. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a long journey to sort of come to terms with the fact that these first 33 books that are out in the world are not perfect. Those first 2 that were ordered, especially because they, even if they are the proofread copies, they still have all the typos that these ones don't. So it's out of my hands. And I think those 2 copies were actually this like third-party scammy book reseller from Amazon, because I still don't have an Amazon.ca pre-order. It doesn't work. But I have like super books, something, I don't remember what it's called, selling a pre-order of my paperbacks for $38 Canadian. So I think that must be who ordered those 2 copies, in which case they're probably never gonna sell anyway. So it's fine that they have typos. I don't know. That's how I'm trying to rationalize it in my brain. Anyway, let's move on. What I've learned from this is that I need to be way further ahead in my schedule so that I can navigate all these issues, and so that I can order proof copies before I turn the distribution on, so that none of this happens again. And needing to be further ahead in my timeline means I needed to figure out my timeline. So I am gonna do a screen recording to show you what I'm talking about and do a voiceover. Hopefully I remember how to do that. It's been a really long time. So let's do this, record entire screen, record display 1. That's this one, yeah? Are you recording? Yes, I think so. Okay. Hopefully you are now seeing my Excel spreadsheet and not my face. So this is a timeline I have for my upcoming novel. These dates are subject to change. This is not necessarily a spoiler, but maybe it is. I guess we'll wait and see. So I started with the top is task, due date, buffer, start working, done. So the task is like what the thing actually is. The due date is when it needs to be done by. The buffer is how long I think it's going to take me. So some of these are just like a 5-minute thing. So they don't have a buffer listed. Some of them are going to take, some of these are in months and some of these are in days. So, and then start working is the due date minus the buffer equals the date I need to start working, and then just the status of whether they're done or not. So I put in the book birthday that I was hoping to maybe have at the top. And then I did some research and figured out what the calculation would be to do what I want to do. So there's this calculation, e-date, you can see it here, where you can calculate months off of a time frame. And then for years, you can do the date calculation. And then for weeks and days, you just do it in days, and you just do the cell minus the number of days, and it calculates it for you. So that's what I did. I filled out the calculation that I wanted for each of these, depending on how long it was going to take for me to do them. And yeah, so you can see I've got my brainstorming done. My outlining is showing as in progress, and it was supposed to be done May 1st. So you can see that I'm a little bit behind. That was not my original timeline, but since I've had all these issues, I've learned that I have to bump all this stuff up. So I'm now looking at a much shorter timeline. Yes, so in theory, I should already be drafting in the hopes of having my first draft done by July 1st. I don't think that's going to happen. However, from July 1st to September 1st, is when I'm supposed to be working on my second draft. So if this runs over a bit, then I'll have less time in this date, right? So, and I will adjust these as I go to make sure that I'm staying on track as best as possible. So this is what I've decided to do moving forward, because before I was just like guessing at how long something would take and picking like the first day of the month or the last day of the month, you know, and I figured I needed something a little more concrete to keep me on track and to get things done in advance. So you can see like I have a book birthday input here right now of June 1st, and I'm already proofreading my ebook January 8th. So yeah, like way, way, way ahead of time. So I think this will probably change what my original plans were for 2025 in terms of how many drafts of how many books I'm getting done. But I think I'll be able to get on top of things now and be getting things done quickly enough. Okay, moving on. My piece of news, sort of, is that I am starting a Fable book club. It's called Indie, eh? So we are focusing on reading Canadian indie authors, which I think will be really fun. We're going to do both adult and YA. We're going to do a variety of fiction genres. The club right now is set to, I don't know, I just like picked 3 genres, but we're going to do a variety of things. And we'll be starting June 1st and doing a Canadian indie queer book for Pride. So that's super fun. I'm excited about that. I'm going to pick the first book just because we have limited time at this point, and get it started and start trying to get people to join. And then moving forward, hopefully we can do voting for the next book. So that is that piece of news. And then if you care at all about my personal life, if you are an OG and are here from like mommy lifestyle days, here's what's been going on. So we are almost done our school year. We have this week and next week, and then that'll be it. So I have been prepping for the end of the school year, and my eldest is graduating grade 8. So getting the diploma ready and doing grad photos and all of those exciting fun things. And I've also been planning for next school year because this is the best time to buy curriculum and do all your planning so that you can relax during the summer. I will not be relaxing so much as hopefully writing a book. So I needed to have everything ready to go for September to make sure I can stay on track with my goals. So yes, I've been prepping for that as well. I'm also starting to plan for, I'm going away for a weekend in June, and then the kids are going away, all 3 of them, for a week in July. So it's the first time our youngest will be going to camp, like kids camp. He's been many times for family camp where we all go together, but this will be his first time without us. So that's very exciting. And we will have a week with no children for the first time ever. We have obviously had, you know, weekends away and that sort of thing. We went for our 2 years delayed 10-year anniversary trip after COVID, and that was like 5 days that we were away from the kids. So this is the first time that all 3 of them will be gone for an entire week, and I have no idea what we're gonna do with ourselves. That's near the end of July, so I'm hoping I can be done my first draft of Project AAO before then, because Jesse's gonna take the day off work and then we can just do whatever we want. We can lay around and read, we can get some house projects done, we can go on like day trips around and do things, and I won't be worrying about my word count. So that's the goal for that, and then just enjoying the summer. I think that's all the updates. Again, it's been so long since I filmed for you, and I have no idea how I'm gonna condense this down to a video that people are actually gonna sit through, but here we are. That's the updates. I need to now go start my pub week vlog and get that one going, and this needs to get uploaded for tomorrow. So yep, happy Monday, happy holiday if you're Canadian, and I will see you in the next one. And by the time that I see you, I will officially be a published author. So here we go.